Hello. Oh, that's not a very good, Oh, has my title and everything been taken away? Oh, this is going to be a bit of a scuffy boy. I've not got a title or anything. I do. That's weird. Um, so we're going to do some of the, oh, I need to fix this. Don't look at my hair, please. I had a shower and didn't quite dry it properly. Nope, this way. Oh, I also want to do this. So as you can see, I've played a little bit off stream. I got myself some of the Lunar Envoy armor and pieces. Lunar Envoy and Radiance. Probably. Welcome to Mirror's Mayan. Oh, hello. I did not recognize you at first. Are you here alone? Let me find you a table. Ruins beneath the bounty. Would you be speaking of the sunken treasure vault? We have only one regular. We have one regular, a historian, in fact, who could tell you all about it. Bit of smooth jazz. Hang on, let me just. That's better. There he is, Professor Jalheen. I thought I saw him come in. Although a somewhat private sort, the professor is quick to befriend those who share his fondness for the Mayhin's unique beverages. Offer him any drink from our selection, and he should happily share everything he knows about the vault you seek, and a few other odd bits besides. Whatever you buy for him is on the house, by the way. If Mary had found out I took coin from Theven's saviour, you'd have me scrubbing pots for a week. Alright, oh, over there. Yes. Alright, so we got an event. What may I do for you, my Orzian friend? Oh, just a friendly chat. How about a drink? Well, I certainly wouldn't say no to a drink freely offered. Here we are, one of Merid's finest. Enjoy. Ah, lovely. Bottoms up. Jolene empties the cup in a single pull. That was very kind of you, miss. But I know when I'm being softened up. What is it that you want from me? Oh, chasing down that old tale, are you? It does seem to appeal to the adventurous at heart. Well now, where to begin? Might I assume you've heard of Alzadal? He was Khan of the Ori tribe which sailed to Fevnir from the mainland, and a key figure in the history of Radzatan. His decision to aid the Arcasadora is what ultimately won them the war against the Gurjasura. God, these are some weird names. Thus allowing our predecessors to lay the foundation for this thriving city-state. This truly fascinating story, however, concerns his grandson, Alzadar III, who was known for his deeds as satrap in Razatan in earlier days. Some attest that the man travelled to another world entirely and returned with glittering riches. Others that he brokered an alliance with a certain worm of the first brood. Then there is the tale of the sunken vault, the one you seem most curious about. According to legend, Alzadal III claimed a small island somewhere in the middle of the bounty. There he built a structure reaching clear to the bottom of the sea, a deep and secret storehouse, and locked all his worldly wealth within. In the centuries since, whenever a natural disaster or hardship befell Radatan, folk would remember that tale of hidden treasure. Party souls would set out to claim their fortune, but precious few ever made it home. Would you like to hear more? Apologies, I have a tickle in... Oh, my cup appears to be empty. Milene, another round for the professor. I see we've reached an understanding. You're a sharp one, adventurer. Another for the professor. Oh, today was a splendid day to visit the Mahine. Jahleen gulps down his newest drink with gusto. Where were we? Yes. Those who did return from seeking the treasure vault flatly refused, to speak of what they saw. Did this discourage others? Nay, quite the opposite. Such accounts only served to feed the legend, and the golden lure grew stronger than ever before. That reminds me of something Azama was saying. Azama's a fellow connoisseur of spirituous potables. Yes, he is. Anyway, he was saying that one of his acquaintances went after the treasure himself. Hasn't been seen since he set sail, I hear. But you did have... no, I can say no more. You seem a generous sort. What kind of man would I be to encourage what is clearly a foolhardy quest? If my words sent you to your death, I could never live with myself. I'm no stranger to peril. Is that so? Perhaps it's your turn to tell a tale, then. What manner of dangers have you faced? The very edge of existence. From anyone else, I'd struggle to believe it, but I recognize you now. You're the hero of the final days. A drink. I need another drink to stop my nerves. Milheen, more of the same, if you please. As you wish, but this one is on your coin, Professor. Jalheen drains yet another cup dry. Oh, he doesn't look good. I've got to say, Professor, you're not looking good. Anyway, you being who you are, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to share a little bit more. This friend of Ajima's, he was desperate to buy a treasure map, one which showed him the way to the entrance of the vault. Seems he could only get it from some merchant. What's his name? I forget. Let's drink a toast to you, my new best friend. Malene, more drinks. Signal for water instead. Your drink, sir. Oh, marvellous. I'm past. Oh, Jolene gulps down the cup of water. That was water. Did you tell her to bring me water? Still, that's probably for the best. Thank very kind of you, really. My head was certainly thank you in the morning. I seem to have overindulged. I am put in mind of the words of Master Jalzane. Be wary of how much of the drink you swallow, lest it swallow you back. Forgive me, I will subject you no more of these unseemly antics. If you want to speak with Azima, well, as I said, we share a taste for the Mayhin's fine spirits. He probably came in as we were talking. I wish you fortune in finding your fortune. You've learned all that Jalheen has to share regarding the undersea vault. To find out more, you'll need to locate a man by the name of Azema. Oh, there he is. I saw him pop into existence. Yes, I am Azema. And who might you be? All true, my friend. All true, I'm afraid. My friend took a ship out in search of Alzadar's legacy. and I've been watching for his sales ever since. I tried to dissuade him, of course, but he refused to listen. All he could talk about was finding that vault. And the look in his eyes, I knew it wasn't common gold or jewels he lusted after. He was hunting Azadel III's otherworldly hoard, and his ambition would not be denied. I see it in you too, in that appetite for the mysterious and unknown. But I'll not attempt to turn you away from your path. I know too well the futility of that endeavour. So I will tell you what my friend told me, how he convinced a merchant in the bazaar to give him the rough location of the vault's entrance. It seems this merchant, one Zashal, I believe, is selling a map which shows the exact route. But my friend's purse was too light for its exorbitant price. With what meagre wealth he had, he instead paid to learn that there are ruins on some small island in the bounty, and within those ruins hides the path to the vault deep below. If you truly intend on seeking Al-Zadar's treasure, I suggest you put your affairs in order. I wish things were different, but I do not believe my friend is ever coming home. Let me just sort out my chair. Is that there? I seem really far away from the camera. Okay, phone. I just realised that because I had to reinstall Streamlabs because the latest follower list wasn't updating, so it's logged me out of everything. Alright, there we go. Yeah, alright. Hold on. Oh, no quote was found. Please, Rishal, please. You must let me have that treasure map. Well, he looks evil. My father and father were slaughtered by monsters. My baby sister, she's too young to fend for herself. Can you spare us no kindness? So you hope to find your fortune, and what? You expect me to surrender my wares for pity's sake? What have you to offer in payment? As I thought, come back when you've got more than rags to your name. This is no mere treasure map. It is a guide to the vaults of Al-Zadar III, one of the greatest satraps of Rajasthan, and a direct descendant of Al-Zadar Khan. Is that true? A fake, I'd wager. This is no fake. The parchment is marked with an arcane glyph passage. You may find the ruins hidden in the bounty, but you won't be setting foot inside without this in your possession. The priceless artifact is discovered amongst the rubble in the aftermath of the final days, and lovingly restored by yours truly. This map is the key to fabulous riches, and I would be the king of fools to simply give it away. Be glad I'm no such king, boy. Your scrawny hide would never return with that treasure alive. Oh, cruel fate! Why must you tempt me with wealth that I am powerless to claim? How I envy the one who purchases that precious map. Whatever they pay will be a bit of pittance against the golden hoard they stand to uncover. Yeah. I think this kid may have been hired to help sell his wares. I'm not buying what he's selling. Oh no. Oh no. Don't do it, Estinian. What of you, sir? A fighting man of your stature would surely relish the challenge of recovering Arzadan's lost fortune. No, don't do it. A fortune, you say? If I had the strength to seize that treasure, my starving sister would never want for food. Oh, Estinian, don't do it. I'll take it. Will this cover the price? Estinian, you're just as bad of money as I am. Well met, friend. Someone is dressed for adventure. Why Thavnir of all places? Knowing you, I suspect there is more to your plan than sightseeing and shopping. Yeah, I also got to see you being scammed. Ruins beneath the bounty. Curious, and here I've acquired a map to just such a site. With that sale, I do believe I've earned the rest of the day off. Thank you for your patronage, sir, but if you'll excuse me, you needn't mind us. And now I've fleeced one of the heroes of the final days, I pray the sisters were looking elsewhere. This map may or may not be genuine. Either way, we'll need a ship to find out for sure. I never took you for a treasure hunter. Lest you misunderstand, I seek not the treasure for myself. If such a fortune truly exists, then it could help ease the struggles of those who lost their loved ones in the final days. I hope to do for Thavnir what you and Alphino did for the Alamegans when you recovered the Mad King's trove. Come now, you know Alphino needs a little encouragement when it comes to recounting the tales of your shared exploits. Oh. Oh god, my hair's a mess. Speaking of precocious lads, that boy in the bazaar was clearly an accomplice of the merchant. I suppose his role was to draw the attention of the crowd and add weight to the merchant's bold claims. Transparent act for the most part, but 'twas not all mummery. The need to provide for his sister rang true enough. Thus, if some portion of the profits end up in that waif's pocket, then I will not consider it money. Then I will consider it money well spent, whether the map leads us to the vault or not. You are coming along, yes? Naturally. I thought as much. Now, let's see about securing a vessel. just gonna check if Grand is streaming now. Yeah, he is. You'll recall I spoke of visiting Thafnir at Vitra's request. Well, he finally invited me to a feast and made his proposal once I was too full of Hanish delights to refuse. He wishes me to train the Radiant Host in lance work. That is a tale for another time. What we need now is a merchant or a trawler with a ship fit for the open seas. Matsuya is a fisherman by trade, yes? We should head to Akiale and see if he can help us. That's not what we want. We want bountiful ruins. Because otherwise we're going to be doing something I can't do yet because my item level's too low. Oh yeah, I can't fly here. I should probably start getting the 8th currents for this. If I'll do that once I finish this stream, I'll just go around and get some of the 8th currents. Kachapa. Oh, there he is. What do you got to say, Justinian? I was hoping to hire a ship, of course, rather than buy one. My funds would not stretch quite that far. I'm not sure my funds would stretch quite that far. My friends, what brings you to our humble village? We're looking for treasure, you see. Can we borrow your boat? So you need a seaworthy vessel to seek these ruins. Considering it was your deeds which allowed us to return to fishing, I should think everyone would be glad of the chance to repay the favour. Wait here, and I will have a boat stocked and ready for you in no time at all. Oh, shit. Have you noticed our little shadow? He's been following us ever since we left the city. We see you there, boy. Show yourself. Ah, it is you. Do you know how far out of our way we walked so that you'd not cross paths with some wild beast? I'm sorry, sir, but you aren't the heroes. But aren't you the heroes who saved Thevnir? You are. I know you are. And I've gone and cheated you. I work with Zashal, you see, the map merchant. It's my job to play the pleading orphan and convince the crowd that his wares are worth the price he asks. I'm ashamed of what I've done, and I beg your forgiveness. If not for you, my sister and I would never have... Well, we'd be... Enough. I knew your game, and I paid the price willingly. A fortunate purchase, as it turned out, for my friend here was seeking those very ruins. You're kind to overlook the wrong that I've done you. There is more you need to know. Oh, God, itchy. The map you bought is very real, as is the island it shows. I have heard Zashal selling the information to another customer. He told that man where he needed to search, about the ruins, about the vault, about everything. Then the man sailed out to find his fortune, never to return. You cannot go alone to that place. You should have more friends with you, maybe even a whole army. I do not doubt the ruins hold danger, but I assure you, between the two of us there is nothing we cannot overcome. Please, I cannot bear the thought of... Now you've gone and made him cry. I did not... That was not my intention. Oh, very well. Assuming we do find this treasure hoard, it may prove wise to have more hands along for the carrying. Any idea on who to approach? The Scions have scattered far and wide since our last gathering. Graham Krill? Aye. Krill may have her hands full rebuilding the students, but if you reach out to Graha, he would surely leap at the invitation. Will that set your mind at ease? Yes, if the man is as strong as you. Is he, though? Strong, I mean. He's the strongest. What is your name, boy? Merad, sir. Well, Merad, your life is yours to live as you will, but I suggest you find a more honest trade if you truly wish to keep your sister safe. I'm not proud of what I do. But what choice do I have? We need to eat, and everyone's too busy rebuilding their own lives to bother with two grubby orphans. Wait, boy. I did not take this roundabout road just to see you end up in some creature's belly. Let me walk you back to the city gates. Thank you, sir. Call me Estinian. I feel like Estinian's going to have a son by the end of this. Estinian is... I think he's not as gruff as he makes out to be. Nothing I can use, but I shall leave you to recruit Graha. He'll appreciate the invitation that much more, I'm sure. As I recall, he was based at the Annex. Someone there ought to be able to point you in the right direction. Let us be off too, Murad. Do me a favour and don't stray from the path. No, that's Kugane. We do not want to. Oh, do not want to go at Kugane. We want to go to. Is it under others? I think. Old Charlian. We're gonna go to the Annex. Pick up Best Boy. Pick up our best boy, our favourite boy, the one, the only, Grahatia. I'm gonna pop in and see. Oh, we can actually teleport straight to the Annex. So I moved my desk since last time I streamed. I don't think it was here last time. Because I used to be over there, back against this wall. Oh, look who it is. Welcome back, Pachaka. What might the students do for you? Graha. Yes, he's in the main hall with Mistress Krill. They've been holed up there for days. By all means, go and give them an excuse to take a break. Oh, sorry, I'm wiggling this a bit. Ah, Ojika, my good man. Would you be so kind as to... Isn't this a pleasant surprise? I wish you'd sent word ahead. I thought I was having visions for a moment there. How's the restoration of the students coming along? Slow and steady. Raha and I have compiled old records of the students' activities. We located several accounts in the archives of Numenon and added them to the collection we recovered from the Isle of Val. And judging by the progress we've made thus far, sorting this pile will keep us occupied for days to come. But what brings you to the Annex, my friend? Surely you haven't come all this way just to watch us shuffle dusty papers around. I'm here to fulfill a promise. The treasure vault of Alzadal III. Are you looking for companions to join you on this expedition? I would dearly love to accompany you, of course, but I'm afraid I'm committed to another task, on the subject of which I'd hope to ask you for your assistance. Oh, look at him. He wants to come. Then again, it's not so urgent that it can't wait until you've returned. You should go, Raha. I'll stay here and mind the shop, as it were. Are you sure? I'd hate to leave you short-handed. I'm sure. Just try to be back before too many moons have passed. Well, I guess we're off on another adventure already. I told you I'd bring you with you. Have you asked anyone else to come along? Then might I suggest we invite Y'shtola? Ever since the Scions disbanded, she spent most of her time cloistered within the Great Global Library, hoping to piece together a method to traverse the rift. It would seem, however, that whatever wisdom she sought there was not to be found. She arrived in Charlion the other day. We spoke briefly before she began her search for Numenor. Considering what you told us of Alzadal's extraordinary feats, I do believe Y'shtola would be more than interested to hear what you have to say. Splendid. Then let's head to the archives at once. Wait, before you go, I have another potential member to volunteer, if you've room to spare. Urianga. He sent the students a request for materials, you see. Treatise on the architecture of secret vaults and the like. From what I can gather, the Loporrits are looking to make improvements to their own creation, and wish to learn more about how we built things down here. Why not take Urianga with you? Let him study Alzadal's legacy firsthand. None can deny the benefit of seeing something with your own eyes. If our expedition leader has no objections, I say we extend Urianga an invitation once we've spoken with Y'shtola. Let's do it. Safe travels, you two. Don't forget, I'd still like your help with the other matter I mentioned. Right, then it's off to the library. I'll read that later. Where are we going? Oh, to the studium. Pop spread. Fucking pudding waste still there. What you gotta say? I guess my pudding wasn't needed to stop the final days after all. But I persevere. Once people have tasted it, they'll be happier than they were before the apocalypse started. I just know it. I know we wasted Sprint there, but... I think I've seen this bit. Well, she wasn't hard to find, at least. Yeah, I've definitely seen this bit. Oh, she's cute. I'd never known Y'shtola to doze off in the middle of research before. Close my eyes for one moment. How long have you two been here? Catching up on some light reading? Something to that effect. I must have been studying for 3 days straight before exhaustion finally came to me. As you know, I've been researching ways to travel from the source to one of the reflections. I don't know why it's coming up with... Well, looking for hints at least. I didn't expect to find a simple set of instructions tucked away in some dark corner of the library. I wonder why Nightbot's returning that. Oh, it's stream elements. I've got to turn off the bot for stream elements now. How do I just turn you off? That should do it. So now if I do quote... That's better. Well, looking for hints at least, I didn't expect to find a simple set of instructions tucked away in some dark corner of the library. So I've been skimming through the stacks, hoping to uncover even a partial mention of any similar feats in the past. A means to travel between worlds exists, and you can be sure I'll find a way to employ it. So I promised Runar, but it would seem I've set myself a nigh impossible task. Oh, fuck me. You needn't be so hard on yourself. The leap I made with the Crystal Tower was not achieved in an afternoon. It was the culmination of a collective effort spanning generations. Oh, you think me discouraged? I assure you, it's quite the opposite. A daunting challenge and the time to sink my teeth into it, I feel like a fresh-faced student again. A scholar in her element. Indeed. Was there something else you wished to ask of me? Would you like to come to a vault under the sea? Alzadal is no minor figure in Hannish history. Much is known about his family. This is the first I've heard of a descendant surviving the trip to another world. If those tales are true, then he may have left behind some clue as to how it was accomplished. An invitation to delve into one of the world's lingering mysteries. As if I could refuse. And whence do we embark upon this expedition? Akyali by ship. But before that, we thought to extend an invitation to Arianga as well. He was in Thormazane, last we heard. Then by all means, let's recruit him and be on our way. Might as well do the crystal from beyond here as well. This will unlock Abyssos for us. Greetings, Pacheco, and welcome to my humble laboratory. I am sure Namiji has already told you plenty about this, but allow me to introduce myself personally. I am Claudian, leader of this little research collective. I must admit, I've been nervous about this meeting ever since Nemgiji set out to find you. For a researcher in my field, there is no greater honour than to meet the first woman in history to traverse the ethereal sea and return to tell the tale. The professor speaks often and at length of your deeds, but he has no small number of achievements to his own name. He has peered deeper into the ethereal sea than any other in Sharlayan, and the breadth of his knowledge is peerless. Peerless, perhaps, but for a single woman, we must seize this precious opportunity to learn what we can from her, and perhaps crack this conundrum that has stumped the three of us for moons. It was we who peered into the fathomless sea at the Anti-Tower in the Dravenian Highlands. There we spoke with Hydaelyn and learnt of the fate that would befall this star, the final days. Therefore, soon thereafter, all research was moved to Labyrinthos, and through the Altioscope did we continue our vigil. As impressive a work as the device is, however, we can glimpse but a fraction of the sea's limitless depths. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Not long after the Exodus was declared, we recovered an unusual crystal shard during a routine observation. It appeared before us suddenly, as if repelled to the surface by some unknown force. We found that it possessed an ethereal density that exceeds that of normal crystals by orders of magnitude, and its shape resembles nothing which occurs in the natural world. It was made, not formed. Unfortunately, that was the extent of the information we could glean before we were forced to turn our focus towards the Exodus. The crystal was very nearly forgotten amidst the sudden upheaval. But thanks to the efforts of a certain someone, that crisis is now behind us, and we are free to resume our research. Thus did we decide to seek you out, the dauntless adventurer who had delved into the unknown and beheld its innermost secrets, and now we would have you see for yourself. Here is the crystal in question. It resembles all you've encountered. If it resembles all you've encountered before, even by the smallest degree, please say so. Is it the crystal of Azim? It's one of the crystals. Memory abides within this crystal. As I thought, you do know what this is. Please, tell us everything. I see. The Ascians use these to transfer the memories to new vessels. Fascinating indeed. was plain that this crystal was special somehow, but this revelation surpasses even my considerable expectations. Similar artifacts have appeared throughout the ages. Memories of martial techniques manifested as crystalline shards on the battlefield, or storied stones passed from master to student. A comparison between said artifact and this crystal might prove a fruitful first step in unveiling its true nature. What do you think, Professor? Ascian memories, windows through which we can gaze upon the convocation of 14. Unlike the crystal in Pachaka's story, this one does not bear the mark of the convocation. Who, then, could these memories belong to? And more importantly, why were they stored in this particular shard? More importantly still, why was it set adrift in the ethereal sea? We can go back and ask him, I guess. Professor Claudian. Yes. I'm well aware that contemplation is key to breakthrough, but there is propriety to consider. We have a guest, one you invited explicitly. Must we do this every time? What? Yes, of course, our guest. Terribly sorry. I do so easily find myself unmoored by the tides of rumination. Perhaps a more engaging use of a time would be with us would be for you to take up that crystal. If indeed there are memories stored within, that may reveal yourself to you upon contact. There you go. If anyone, message, come, pandemonium, please. Faces, grave danger, a great threat, star in danger. That expression does not bode well. What did you see? Pandemonium? It is not a word I have heard before. If my knowledge of the ancient tongue serves me, it means all demons. Not a name that inspires optimism, all things considered. In the event that another star-shattering cataclysm is in fact bearing down upon us, I would have the aforementioned examples of crystalline memory to hand. Nemgigi, Risenald, I entrust their procurement to you. If there are more memories to be extracted from this crystal, we will find them. As for you, Pachaka, there is a person I would have you seek, the one who has delivered so dire a warning. Your story tells us that this crystal could very well have been made by one of the ancients. If that is the case, then discerning the true nature of this pandemonium would require a trip far into the past, to an era before the Sundering. I know of only one individual capable of such feat, the very hero who traversed time to prevent the world's doom. I must confess, the tales people tell of your adventures beg belief, but their veracity has been a subject of much debate among my peers. After today's meeting, however, there can be no doubt in my mind that every incredible exploit is fact. So I ask you now, return to the past, find out what and where Pandemonium is, and if we need be concerned by this message. Thank you. For the time being, you should keep this crystal in your possession. I do not think you have seen the last of its memories, and more may be drawn out as you approach their source. Safe travels, and may we meet again soon to share our findings. Come on. As you may have guessed, I turned off the get out of it, you. I turned off the mount music because it was getting on my tits. There's the Ragnarok. I don't see Thancred anywhere. Was he not supposed to be travelling with Rianga? I visited Labyrinthos on several occasions recently, but I've not set foot in Thormazane since the day we boarded the Ragnarok. Ah, our illustrious champion. Cloaked in the mantle of a common explorer, fame set aside in thy pursuit of simple adventure. I am told a new expedition is in the offing. Wasn't Thancred with you? He left to attend to some personal errand, but should be returning ere long. You've been keeping yourself busy, I trust. True to our plan, Thancred and I embarked upon a pilgrimage of sorts, with an eye for gauging the state of those lands through which we passed. Our travels were interrupted, however, by a request for aid from our preferred lunar allies. As you might recall, the Loporrits have been seeking new purpose for the moon. Another role through which it might serve to benefit mankind. The Forum hath been working to advise them in this endeavour, but I return to offer mine own counsel. And this has what to do with the treasure vaults exactly? Ah, you learned of my predicament from Mistress Krill. I know not whence thy acquired such knowledge, but the Loporrits now stand convinced that adventurers delight in treasure hunts. Thus, with their newly built wonderland of riches and mystery, did they hope to entice all manner of daring delvers to the moon. So earnest and innocent was their desire to bring joy to the world that I found myself powerless to refuse them my cooperation. What of you, my friends? Why are you come to Labyrinthos? Fascinating. This is, indeed, a most fortuitous opportunity. I should be honoured to accept thine invitation. How long hath it been, I wonder, when our last actions were not impelled by fate or desperation? Aye, though I cherish the Scion's accomplishments, 'tis a pleasant change not to have the weight of the world upon our shoulders for a change. Count Estinian, we number 5 now, yes? Without knowing what traps or perils await unwary feet, we may be wise to refrain from recruiting others. I agree. Between us, we should have the skills to handle whatever situation may arise. Shall we be on our way? What? No time to spare a world for the grizzled old bard? All is well, I trust. A wasted trip, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to catch up with former mentor whilst you parleyed with the rabbits. But it seems our paths were not to cross. You're looking well. That's because we didn't travel by experimental aetheryte. It's astounding what a lack of nausea does for one's sense of well-being. In any case, as we made our way around Ilzabad, we saw that much of the continent was in various stages of chaos. A certain amount of disorder is to be expected. The final days are over, and the people no longer have a common threat binding them together. Oh, fuck me. Arse is going numb. That's the thing with these fledgling troubles, eh? You need to keep an eye on an eye out lest they mature into full-grown headaches. So for what reason have so many esteemed personages seen fit together? Beneath the waters of the bounty, you say? I see you've already stolen away my travelling partner with the promise of unexplored ruins and scholarly glory. Nay, it is not for mine own indulgence, but rather for the fulfillment of my commitment to the Loporettes. Ah, of course. And if you have Estinian rounding out your group, you likely have all the members you need. Feeling left out? I could put in a good word for you if you like. I may have been released from our obligations, but I'll never be free of that merciless wit of yours, will I? In all seriousness, it is best I sit this one out. Too many former scions consorting with one another might be seen as a cause for concern in certain quarters. I'll return to my usual reconnaissance and scout out the situation in the Far East. Feel free to share if you come across any interesting revelations. Till we meet again. Bye, Thancred. Should also hasten our departure. Sir Estinian will wonder what hath become of us. So much money. Oh, that's my file manager. Ah, the thrill of an imminent adventure. I'll never tire of this feeling. Just imagine the possibilities. In my travels, I spied many a child wandering alone, orphans, in all likelihood. Though homes raised by beasts and blasphemies can be rebuilt, the void left by those we have lost cannot be so easily filled. Right, Estinian. Oh, turn down my headset. I sent you to recruit Raha and you return with an entire survey party. I hope Matsuya's boat is sturdy enough to carry us all. What he means is, we are grateful for the use of one of your precious fishing vessels. We are more than glad for the chance to provide it. I ask only that you take care to steer clear of the reefs in the shallows there. Aye, we will keep an eye out. Baked alien soup. Tenacity. That's probably the best for me. I will pray to Sandruvi for your safe return. May the wealth of her blessings guide you to the treasure you seek. Despite his misgivings, I wager Merad remains in that merchant's employ. Alzadan Dal III. I confess I'm somewhat embarrassed that the tale of his journey to another world escaped my notice. Could it be more than simple folklore? And what of the treasure he supposedly brought back? This undersea vault may hold many relics from another reflection. My friends, we should temper our expectations. The map doth promise ruins, but beyond that we know not what we will find. Not until we find it, aye. So let us dispense with the conjecture and set sail for the vault. Azadal's legacy. Alright. What eye levels recommended here? That should be fine. Oh, that was quick. We like that very much. I like him very much. Okay, I'm just going to say that this is my first time. Oh, that's very loud. Oh. Should probably keep Swift cast up just in case. He's a warrior, so he should be fine anyway. Oh, first boss. So we gotta watch the this is like this must be like ruby weapon then. Which is lucky because I did that yesterday. Amber jam. Oh, he actually got out of that. I'm quite surprised. Pleasantly surprised, obviously. Can we get him before this AE goes off? No. Deep beneath the waves. Confirming bearer's identity. I got a 4 on that. Or fucking 4 on that. I'm not even sure if it's any better than what I've got. It is actually better than what I've got. I think I did get out of that. Oh. I love warriors. Oh, a burpee today. Okay, so there are squares on the floor. Turn back, treasure seeker, or this vault will be your tomb. So that was right. My instincts were right. Oh, shit, alright. That was bad. I don't like this. I don't like this boss. That was very close for me there. Oh, I did get the bracelet. Oh, look at all this treasure. Making that fucking noise again, aren't I? Oh, hello, fairy. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I was kind of distracted. I don't know how long ago you put that there, but I was a little bit distracted. Oh, he was hiding. Yeah. Oh, Grand's not streaming anymore. Oh. Yeah, I actually need this. I'm getting some compliments in the chat. Oh, I know what this one is. Oh, I really hate this. I'm gonna give everyone a Medica 2 here. Nice. Alright, I've never, I haven't done this dungeon before, but I've seen people doing it and it looked really hard. Not actually as hard as it looks. No, I can just do this. I don't need to keep relying on Medica 2 or Medica 1 even. I'm assuming this is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to know that, but oh, that was a trap. This is fun. I like this fight. This is a really fun fight. I really enjoyed that, actually. That was a really fun dungeon. I didn't get it. I got 2 commendations from that. I'm really happy. That was a really fun dungeon. I'm really glad I did that. My legs hurt. What have we here? It is not unlike a Hannish alchemical furnace in design. There's only one way we might find out. Stop. You mustn't touch it. Vitra. Ah, my apologies. Should I continue to calling you Vashal? Vashan? You may address me as you wish. My nature is no longer a secret. Still, this is not the setting I imagined for our reunion. Surely you've not entered these ruins as common looters. Would that we could deny your accusation, but I fear you're not far from the truth. Great Vitra, might we beseech thee to explain the nature of these strange contrivances? It was crafted by our alchemists at my behest, for the purpose of sealing something away. I wasn't going to touch it, but you know you stole her. Oh my god, the death stare. You and I will speak later. Oh no. Oh no. I I'm afraid you and I will speak later. Yeah, that's about around about it. Not the time for frivolity, my friend. Not the time. This something of which thou speaketh. Might it be some manner of threat? Perhaps I should simply show you. It's a void gate, isn't it? That's a void gate, isn't it? Oh. I have lifted the seal, if only for the moment, by an authority only I possess. A plain fissure? No, my friend. Small though it may be, this is a functioning gate to the void. It's a void gate. I knew it. Oh. Can such a tiny portal truly be so dangerous? I came here in search of something that might further my research. I did not anticipate a fully functioning void gate. Even in the learned halls of Sharlayan, 'tis forbidden to throw wide the gates to the abyss. The peril is too great. I expect you have more questions. Void gates and fissures are much the same thing in practice. I sense that both allow the passage between the source and the 13th. In sense that both allow the passage between the source and the 13th. The difference in terminology refers to the circumstances of the creation. A fissure is an incidental tear in the fabric between worlds, whereas a void gate is the product of deliberate action. I suspect this is the latter, judging by the elaborate mechanism put in place to control it. To think that our search for material riches would lead us to such a priceless discovery, that swirling emptiness, it puts me in mind of old friends, not to mention old foes. You ganking this stream. Perhaps I might linger a touch longer. Well, you just missed me getting the death stare by Y'shtola. I didn't think Alfie was still streaming, but... Oh, he is. I must admit, I'm definitely curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins. To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia past, when the Elegant Empire was sent an invading force to the shores of Mericidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat, and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mericidians resorted to summoning primal entities. In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the void. Thus bolstered by Acons on one side and Voidsend on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss. I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen. Indeed I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped towards that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Asdaja. We dragons are not male or female, as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me. I was the last of our brood to hatch, and as Asdaja cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Voidsend hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends were cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Asjada sacrificed her all on a final gamble. Risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the void gate itself to strike at the root of their strength. I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could, but even as I came upon Alleg's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Asjada has been lost to us ever since. I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see such mention of such a noble sacrifice. That does not surprise me. To Alleg's eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove into the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years researching the means to reunite with Asjada, until I could search no more, until Alleg was dust and the arts to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon lost forever. Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a Hanish device. My discovery came before Radzahan was founded, though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift. It was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planal fissure. It was, however, too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of talented alchemists, did matters take a favourable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly they worked to expand the fissure, and after a decade of toil, it finally grew to the size that a child might pass through. Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, that Asjada's answer was silence. I suspect that the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one. With hope in my heart, I used a simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I found was a host of Voidsend, clamouring around the opening as they had sensed. It was but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more. The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Radzahan and abandoning your sister, and you chose the latter. It was not that thy sibling scorned thy call. It was that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th. I can scarce imagine your pain. Yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness. I remember when Nero turned purple. Turned purple? Well, yes, his wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his aether. Had it been allowed to progress much further, I presume he would have been fully transformed. Then there is little hope for Azdaja. I know, I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the first brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components, after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome. Of course, with a warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies. Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late. And now, countless others look to me for guidance and protection. So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed, and that to secure the treasure, of course. I wish I need to forget the rest. I wondered how one of the first brood could simply vanish and leave no trace of a passage. Now I have my answer. Millennia have passed since I last saw her, but I see Azdaja in my memory still, clear and vivid. The 13th, what chaos must consume that world? Vitra's grief for a lost sibling will be no mystery to Estinian. His life hath been entwined with sorrow, even before he became host to Nidhogg's essence. They managed not only to expand the fissure, but also manipulate it as one might a gate. Astonishing. Is there any chance I could learn more of this, how this feat was accomplished? I will tell you what I can. First, however, I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the guardians you had so handily destroyed. It will not do to leave the gate undefended. Ah, my apologies. We were perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the vault's secrets. If the constructs may be repaired, we would be happy to offer our assistance. That will not be necessary. Much as I retain spare vessels for myself, we keep duplicate guardians on hand for such eventualities. In any case, we should return to Radzatan. Vitra speaks of Azdaja as a lost cause, but I wager he feels differently in his heart of hearts. There is much about the Void Gate that even I cannot begin to explain. I must convince Vitra to share everything he knows. It was a most enjoyable expedition, for which I am grateful. As for my evaluation, I shall impress upon the Loporrits that a treasure vault is incomplete without daunting sentinels to test the mettle of would-be intruders. While I am loath to keep Krill waiting longer, I cannot bring myself to leave before hearing more of Vitra's tale. I promise we will discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the vault's sentinels. As your instruments have no doubt informed you, the Capiculu have been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to its post along with some few lesser constructs. Was it the tomb robbers, fiends born of the Tower of Zot, by the sisters? Do not tell me a blasphemy yet roams free. Can I blame you, Stoller, again? He's got the shifty eyes going on. Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who are responsible for this. Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. With that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now, I believe you had questions. Quite a few, in fact. But I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with an alchemically forged lock and awarded it with my magics. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, it would admit only the lowliest of voidsend. And from this side, no man would be able to pass through. No man? I should think Alphinoche would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul in transit. And yet, you succeeded in expanding the diminutive portal and sending your simulacrum into the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemists, I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long since been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Azdaja, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus the gate has lain dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open a void gate, one bound to a covenant made with the Cloud of Darkness. Once that sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken, and the doorway severed from its connection to the void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another voidsend, but such deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the bounty gate. Mayhap you could resume the search for your sister. As I've already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. I had meant to ask, what prompted you to search the vault in the first place? It was all Estinian's idea. Shift the blame as much as I can. As I recall, it was you who was chasing tales of undersea ruins. Well, as you have seen, the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin. I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. I've been adding to that trove for years, little by little. But the time has come to spend it, that I might alleviate my people's suffering. Then we are of one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Your Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I will make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boons you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permissions. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Loporrits will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. And I must be off to Charlian as well. Mistress Krill was eager to speak with you about that request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you are able. Farewell for now. Ta-ta for now. We can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. I hoped you enjoyed the expedition at least. Otherwise it was a heavy purse to pay for the treasure map leading to the treasure we couldn't keep. The difficult part in all of this will be deciding how best to put the riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? Anything to make up for the constructs we broke. Then think of your employment as recompense. Serve me as guest advisors and I will consider the broken constructs paid for in full. Chakra and I are in this together. I will follow her example. Alright, now I'm going to go for a quick break. I'm going to grab some coffee and some biscuits. This will have to wait. So we want... be right back. Oh, no, this is a cinematic. Can't do that yet. Meanwhile, elsewhere, it said. Alright, we'll finish the cinematic and then I'll go for a break. I'm assuming this is in the void. Please don't let that be Xenos. Is it Mordekaiser? I sense the breaching of a gate, but it was not instigated from this side. It was thrown open from the other side. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. An opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have waited on for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip from our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate she who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Ah, let her come. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling grasp for breath in her final moments. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Think back to our struggle beneath the sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. It is time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. Oh, that ain't good. Oh, we're back. I enjoyed... Yeah, alright. So oh no, that's the ending scene. We don't want that. We want... Be right back. Alright, talk to you in a minute.